She's gonna carry you.
Yo, you're carrying me.
You want me to carry you? I'd rather carry you. You're about 50 pounds lighter. As I say, sorry, I'm so fat.
No, you're good.
5 rounds in the bag there. I mean, striking time doesn't feel there at the minute, to be honest. Last week, my striking time felt good, and I've done 5 rounds with Luke, so it's just probably woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. Obviously, I've got to get that striking time better if I'm fighting El Chirizo. That's a lot what I'm going to work on, but my grappling always feels phenomenal. As you see in them rounds, lad, when I get people on the floor, they don't get up, lad. They smother people. Like Kamzat against DDP the weekend, once I get you down and I'm on top of you and I'm smothering you, lad, you're not getting up, lad. I'm controlling you.
I think the UFC is waiting to see what happened with Islam and GD. Also, I think the UFC waiting to see what happened with Arman and Hooker. But I'm telling you this, Justin Gaethje never break his word. If he get jumped by Paddy, he will retire. And he will never fight again in the UFC. I truly believe that. I truly believe that. But, you know, UFC is a business. Listen, Paddy Pimblett, I got nothing against the young man. He's great. He's entertaining. His last 3 opponents is 0-13. You know what I'm saying? How he be ahead in the ranking? Justin Gaethje ahead of him. Justin Gaethje give the UFC favorite after favorite after favorite. What Paddy Pimblett have done to the UFC to deserve a shot over Justin Gaethje? If it's pure entertainment, okay, give it to him. But if it's pure merit, it's Justin Gaethje.
Did they try to make the Paddy Pimblett fight? Did they propose it to you guys?
I don't think anybody got proposed to do anything. Listen, the only guy, if you get a title shot over Justin Gaethje, is Arman.
The talk around Paddy Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje hasn't cooled for a second, and now that Paddy's deep in the grind, the spotlight's burning even brighter. Clips of his training are flying around, analysts are firing off takes from every angle, and suddenly this interim title matchup feels a lot less like a long shot and a lot more like a storm building in real time. Experts are split, fans are debating, and the only thing everyone agrees on is this: something unpredictable is brewing. Let's break it down.
I hate just Paddy. I hate Paddy.
Yeah.
I wish it was Oliver fighting with Gaethje or someone different, but not Paddy. I hate that guy.
Michael Bisping chimed in on the matchup, reminding everyone that while Paddy gets called Paddy the Fatty, there's nothing soft about him right now. Bisping says he looks in the best shape of his career, even before the fight was officially booked, and an interim belt would put him right at the top of the division. For Gaethje, Bisping sees this as a last big swing, 2 title shots behind him, maybe 1 final run ahead, with Paddy unexpectedly standing in the way.
Calling Paddy the Fatty, right? Where he isn't fat right now, the man looked to be in the best shape of his life, and he didn't even have a fight announced, okay? Obviously, he knows he's fighting in about 6 weeks, 6 or 7 weeks, whatever it is. So the man's ready, right? And he could be an interim champion of the world. Now, we know an interim champion basically means the #1 contender. But if Paddy can pull it off, unbelievable. That'll be 4 champs, 2 interims and 2 legit, well, 3 legit now with Tom being promoted from the UK that have become champions. And for Justin Gaethje, this is the final go. This is the final crack of the whip. The man's had 2 title fights in the past, Charles Oliveira to Khabib Nurmagomedov, and now he gets to go up again.
Bisping went on to break down the matchup itself, noting that Gaethje isn't facing a monster like Khabib or Islam this time, 2 of the toughest puzzles in UFC history. On paper, it's a more manageable stylistic look for him. The real question, Bisping says, is whether Paddy can mix things up. Can he drag Justin to the mat? Can he stay light on his feet? Can he use a Max Holloway-style game plan without getting caught in the fire? Trading bombs with Gaethje is a fast route to disaster, but counting Paddy out is just as risky. That's why Bisping calls it what it is, a wild, compelling fight where anything can flip in a heartbeat.
It's Paddy Pimblett. Now, talking about the matchup, of course, it is an easier fight for Justin than what it is against Khabib Nurmagomedov, one of the greatest of all time. Islam Makhachev, the current pound for pound, and according to many people, a man that is surpassing Khabib Nurmagomedov, right? So in that that regard, it is an easier matchup. Will Paddy be able to take him down? Will he dance around the octagon? Yes, he will. Will he try and replicate the game plan of Max Holloway? Of course he will. Who wouldn't try and do that? You aren't going to stand and go toe-to-toe with Justin Gaethje because the man does have knockout power. But underestimate Paddy at your peril. That's all I'll say about that one, but that is a...
On the other hand, Arman Tsarukyan didn't hold back, saying he just hopes Gaethje stays focused because this might be the last big window of his career. In Arman's mind, Justin's been at the doorstep so many times, and this interim run could set up one final shot at the real belt before he retires. He even offered to fly out and help with camp. As for Paddy, Arman made it clear he's not a fan, likening him to the type of fighter who gets favorable treatment. For him, a Gaethje win isn't just ideal, it's the outcome he's rooting for.
I hope Justin Gaethje not gonna drink, party, gonna train, dedicate himself, be focused. It's his last chance in this life. He's fighting like, he was fighting for the title maybe 5 times. So this is his chance, and the end of his career, win the interim title, fight for the real title, and then retire. That's the best for him. And I'm gonna, Justin, if you need the help, let me know. I'll fly to you and help you.
Really?
I mean, I want him to win, you know. That bullshit guy, I hate him. He's such a, just I don't know how to explain. You know, when you're amateur fighter, you can buy judges, you know. You can buy judges with amateur fight. And when like poor guy is fighting with a rich kid who someone paid for the judges, and he winning always. It's happened in the amateur sport. If you know, I don't know, about amateur sport like a wrestling or boxing.
He was upfront about his personal feelings. He genuinely dislikes Paddy Pimblett. In his eyes, Paddy's title shot feels more like a product of hype, followers, or marketing than merit. He even says he would have preferred someone else stepping in, like Oliver. When it comes to the fight itself, Arman sees a clash of styles. He expects Gaethje to rely on his striking with punches and kicks, while Paddy will try to wrestle. If Justin can control the grappling and stay composed, Arman predicts he will edge out a decision victory. It is a classic striker versus wrestler scenario, and he is betting on experience and preparation to make the difference.
It's the same. He has like a followers or whatever, or his country is big, or I don't know, UFC likes him so much, or he's selling, or what he's doing, I don't know. So he got his title fight because of that.
Yeah, and you hold that against him, like not against like the system and the, you know, the way that the game works. Like there's a saying that like don't hate the player, hate the game, but you hold it personally against Paddy Pimblett.
Yeah, I hate just Paddy. I hate Paddy.
Yeah.
I wish it was Oliver fighting with Gaethje or someone different, but not Paddy. I hate that guy.
If Justin, like you said, and I'm sure he will take it very seriously, and he will come in shape. I know he's a little older, obviously 37 years old, but like stylistically, how do you see the fight going?
I mean, Justin, sometimes he fights so good, sometimes so bad. Hopefully, he's gonna overstrike him on the feet with his boxing and kicks, and then Paddy gonna try to wrestle him, and he's gonna defend his wrestling and win by decision. We win by decision, Gaethje.
And right after Arman fiery take, Michael Chiesa weighed in with the bigger picture stakes. He believes whoever survives Paddy versus Gaethje won't be sitting on that interim belt for long. In his eyes, there's no chance of an interim title defense. The winner gets launched straight into a showdown with Ilia Topuria. Chiesa likes the clarity it finally gives lightweight, even if it leaves someone like Arman Tsarukyan out in the cold. But with all that on the line, he says this matchup isn't just fun, but it's a fight that could flip the entire division overnight.
Paddy Pimblett, Justin Gaethje fighting for the interim title. Whoever wins that fight will move on to fight Ilya. And I don't think that there will be a title defense for the interim title. If I was to guess, if I was to bet, there will be no title defense of the interim title. I think that the next fight for whoever wins between Paddy and Justin, I think their next fight will be Ilia Topuria. So do not think they will defend the interim title. So good movement and clarity at 155 pounds. I feel for Arman Tsarukyan, but this fight's going to be incredible.
However, Aljamain Sterling highlighted Arman Tsarukyan's journey and resilience. He reminded fans that Arman was set to face Islam Makhachev, but had to pull out due to injury, which brought some criticism from the UFC. Sterling points out that Arman made up for it by stepping in as a backup fighter, cutting weight and staying ready even without a guaranteed fight. He showed he is a team player while still defending his #1 contender spot by defeating Dan Hooker with a finish. Sterling believes that if Arman had been offered a shot at the interim title against Paddy Pimblett or Justin Gaethje, he would have taken it in a heartbeat. This sets up a clear path toward Ilia Topuria for whoever emerges next.
The #1 contender, Arman Tsarukyan. He was supposed to fight Islam Makhachev, got hurt, and understandably pulled out and had some repercussions from the UFC brass, which I understand. But the guy made up for it. You wait in as a backup fighter, which sucks. Yeah, they pay you, but it sucks. You have to cut weight, not even knowing if you're going to actually fight. So he did that. Backup fighter. Doesn't get the call, but may wait. Show the UFC that he's a company guy. He's going to do what he can to make things right. Then he goes on and he fights again. Defends his #1 spot. Beats Dan Hooker and gets a finish. Then, I want to say, a week later. Almost a week later. I'm sure if he had the opportunity to fight for the interim title between Paddy Pimblett or Justin Gaethje, he would have done it. Unless we're all completely mistaken and he said, no, I only want to fight for the title or that's it. And that's against
Sterling also put the interim title in perspective, noting that behind the scenes it carries the same perks and recognition as the official belt. It's mostly fan perception that differs. He compared it to Henry Cejudo becoming champ, while Dominic Cruz was sidelined, showing interim champs can be legitimate. Sterling believes Arman would have jumped at the fight, especially after just securing a finish without taking much damage, proving he's ready despite the unpredictable timing.
Ilia. Because if you fans don't know, fighting for an interim title is treated the same as an official title. Maybe not to the public, the media, the masses, who don't actually understand what it does on the back end for your contract, but you get the same perks and accolades as the actual champion. So there's no discrepancy between the two for me. It's just the fan perspective of, did you beat the best guy to become the actual champ? And sometimes that champ injury defaults out. I guess case in point would be the situation where Renan Barao became the official champ when Dominic Cruz was out for about three and a half years with his injuries. So just to put in perspective, I think Arman would have taken the fight. That's just what I would think. It's not too bad of a turnaround. And on top of that, he just won, got a finish, didn't take a lot of damage. I don't know how hard the training camp was, but didn't take a lot of damage. It sucks to see.
Whereas, Sean O'Malley admits he's leaning slightly toward Paddy Pimblett. He notes that Paddy has a tendency to get caught with left hooks, but overall he looks sharp, especially after his performance against Michael Chandler. Sean points out that Paddy has multiple ways to win. He's tough, elusive, and dangerous on the feet. He even reminds fans of Paddy's head kick knockout over Dustin Poirier just before his fight with Max Holloway, highlighting the kind of finishing power he brings into the cage.
No, dude, I'm kind of leaning towards Paddy. But the way he does get hit with left hooks, he looks so good against Michael Chandler. Paddy's got a lot of ways to win.
He's a scouser.
He's a scouser. Scousers don't get knocked out, you mushroom.
He KO'd Dustin with a head kick too. The fight before the Max Holloway one, which is pretty.
Following the breakdown on Paddy's skills, Josh Thompson shifted the focus to Arman Tsarukyan. He questioned where this leaves Arman, especially after such a dominant win over Dan Hooker. Thompson highlighted how Arman hunted for a submission or knockout the whole fight and made it look effortless, proving why he's so exciting to watch. He pointed out the irony that the Hooker fight was meant to decide the #1 contender, yet now the Pimblett versus Gaethje interim title bout guarantees the winner that same spot, leaving Arman on the outside despite his performance. On the other hand, Brendan Schaub weighed in on how UFC 324 in Vegas shaped up. He insists that the original plan was a Pimblett versus Ilia Topuria fight, but when Topuria announced a layoff for personal reasons, the UFC pivoted and brought in Justin Gaethje. Schaub understands the frustration fans feel for Arman Tsarukyan, who is still the #1 contender, but he says that doesn't take away from what's on the card. He calls Pimblett versus Gaethje a must-watch, high-energy clash, a straight-up banger. The controversy, he notes, mostly comes from the interim title angle, and the fact that Arman is being sidelined, even though the winner of this fight will move directly toward Topuria.
Gaethje, Paddy Pimblett. Some of you could give me slack because I guaranteed you're going to get Ilia Topuria, Paddy Pimblett. I know for a fact, 1,000% that was their plan. I know for a fucking fact that was their plan. And then Ilia Topuria came out and said he's taking a layoff, dealing with some personal issues. So he'll fight on the White House card. That's how that's going to go down. I know for 1,000%, 100,000% fact, sources locked in, suck my dick, that it was going to be Paddy Pimblett, Ilia Topuria. Topuria pulls out. The UFC's like, oh shit, we got to do something for Paramount. And they called up Justin Gaethje. As a fight, it's take away your anger and how you think Arman Tsarukyan's getting fucked right now, which we'll get into. Take away all that hate for the card. Justin Gaethje, Paddy Pimblett is a fantastic, entertaining fight. For what it is a fucking banger. It's a great fight. The hardcores are upset because like, well, hold on. And this for interim, I don't think they should have done interim belt. That's where I think people are upset. But because now the winner of this has to fight Ilia, which we can get to that. But people are going to be upset that Arman's not getting the shot and he's ranked #1.
Building on that, Luke Thomas takes a step back to look at the bigger picture. He understands why the UFC is hyping Paddy against a seasoned but still dangerous Gaethje, and why an interim title works for pay-per-view buzz while Ilia is on hiatus. At the same time, Thomas can't overlook the main frustration. Arman Tsarukyan is the fighter who has earned this opportunity, yet he's left waiting as the division gets reshuffled. With Ilia out for months, the situation feels messy, unfair, and downright confusing for anyone trying to follow the logic. Now it's your turn. Who do you think will walk away with the win? Do you believe this fight is truly justified? Or do you side with those saying Arman Tsarukyan deserved the spot instead? Share your thoughts and predictions down in the comments, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our latest updates, analysis, and breakdowns from the world of MMA.